And then what's this plant going to make?
Blueberries.
Blueberries.
All right. That looks like something that you would
Looks like a little
put water in.
yeah, base.
A vase of some kind.
We are in Hartstern's Garden, where they plant pumpkins, and I'm in the where the pumpkins are.
It shows it's healthy by see if it's going down straight down and ripping the ground. I just think it's healthy because it's grown very tall.
I am DeJuan Wright, principal of Hartstern Elementary, and I'm pleased to welcome you to our school. More than 4 years ago, the Center for Disease Control and the Metro government partnered with JCPS Nutrition Services to make a major investment in student health and nutrition education with the launch of a school garden program. Hartstern Elementary started with 3 raised beds and 2 barrels growing a small quantity of vegetables. Today, we recognize a giant leap forward after Dr. Mary Gorell encouraged Debbie Rutledge Lockyer to apply for a garden grant through the Norton Foundation in support of Wardolph-inspired educators. At that time, Ms. Lockyer teamed with Janet White, and the 2 of them began participating in Garden Alliance professional developments, organizing community outreach opportunities such as Brightside Cleanup Days, and writing multiple grants to build one of the district's premier school gardens. We celebrate with you today a project that connects students with nutrition education, basic agriculture, environmental learning, and cross-curriculum connections in subjects such as math, science, reading, writing, social studies, and arts. Members of our faculty have given many hours of their personal time. Parents have volunteered throughout the summer, and community partners have contributed financially to the success we now enjoy. As of today's guests are special to all of us, please allow me to recognize a few of them, and please hold your applause until I am through. First Lady Beshear, JCPS Superintendent Dr. Hargens, JCPS Assistant Superintendent Dr. Hartstern, JCPS Assistant Superintendent Dr. Everett, JCPS Assistant Superintendent Mike Razor, Assistant Superintendent Elaine Kramer, JCPS Board Representative Carol Haddad, Roger Thomas, Executive Director of Agriculture Policy, Metro Councilwoman Madonna Flood, Summer and Garden Club volunteers, and our donors who have made this dream a reality. Let's give them all of applause. We also are very honored to have a principal, our past principal, who was here with us for 17 years, as well as our secretary, Patsy Cox and Diane. Now, our first grade and second grades would like to demonstrate an arts connection by reciting The Little Plant. Thank you, students.
Principal Wright, you're so lucky to be the principal of these amazing students, and I'm lucky to be the superintendent of Jefferson County Public Schools. And I want to again acknowledge Board Member Carol Haddad, thank you for being here, and Councilwoman Flood, thank you also for being here. You know, community is an extremely powerful thing. Individually, we can all make a difference, but together, we can make an impact. What's happening here this morning is a perfect example of that. What Hartstern's community partners have provided is so much more than tons of dirt, mulch, plants, and flowers. There's building a sense of pride here at Hartstern. An outdoor classroom gives students a tangible way to engage in learning. This is the type of engaged, hands-on learning that aligns with our district mission of instruction that inspires. This community effort to educate our children brings to life the type of cross-curriculum learning that is a staple of the Kentucky standards, and it provides students important lessons about healthy choices. I again want to applaud the initiative of teachers like Debbie Locklear and Gold Clarity coach Janet White and everyone in nutrition services who have made this happen. Your passion for students and education should be a template for others. The Nutrition Services Department continues to be a national leader in healthy food initiatives in education. Equally as important, though, you're showing our kids the power of community, the power of teamwork. I'm so inspired by the members of the community who have given to something bigger than themselves. Community stakeholder involvement and engagement is one of the 4 guiding areas of our strategic plan. Many educators refer to education as being on the platform of a 3-legged stool. It takes the school, it takes the family, but it also takes the community. Our challenge is to make sure that every child has a solid platform, a stool upon which to learn. So these 3 legs have to work together as partners. When one leg of the stool is weak, the other 2 legs need to provide more support for a child. And I'm so pleased to see that the community involvement here is so strong, helping lift up these amazing, beautiful children. And of course, I want to thank First Lady Beshear for her commitment to our students, whether it's planting seeds in the garden or planting seeds about the importance of reading. Lady Beshear has always been a champion for education. Her presence here sends a powerful message to our students that they are important to the future of this community and to the Commonwealth. They are the leaders of tomorrow. Since her husband took office in December 2007, Kentucky's First Lady has led a conversation throughout the Commonwealth on the many values associated with school and community gardening. We are honored to have the First Lady as our special guest today to celebrate our collaboration with her initiatives. Please give a warm welcome to the First Lady of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Mrs. Jane Beshear.
Thank you, Dr. Hargensen. Thank you, Principal Wright, and all of our students and the other guests that are with us today. You know, when I drove up here, the first thing I saw was the corn and the sunflowers. What an incredible garden you all have done. I am so impressed. Surely, your verse about the seed, you all have planted it, and it has grown, just like each of you. I'm delighted that we could be here today and help celebrate not only this garden, but also the part that we are playing in it. That we want you to know that this is only one of 3 Commonwealth gardens that we have across the Commonwealth right now. That shows how special your school is and how excited we are to be a part of it. What we've done is to partner with the Governor's Office of Ag Policy for a new initiative. We call it the Commonwealth Garden. This is a part of the Governor's Garden that I started about 5 years ago to promote home and community gardening, because I think it is so very important. The benefits that we get from gardening, you know, what you've planted right here, not only does it look fantastic, and will it taste fantastic, but it's helping the air we breathe. It's helping everything around, the entire environment around this garden. It has produced, and I hope that all of you have tasted, some of the healthy food that comes out of it. Because, you know, when we eat healthy, you know what it does for us? It makes us grow. And what else does it do? It makes you smarter. So healthy foods help us become better students, and we get to be better grown-ups. Working in a garden is what we call therapeutic. What that means is it's fun. Have you all had fun getting in this garden, getting your hands dirty? Yeah, that's part of the real fun of it. It also gets you moving, doesn't it? You have to get up and down and move around between the rows, whether you're planting or whether you're harvesting. Then when we get to harvest it, when we get to pick it and bring it in, what do we get to do with it? And has that been good? Yeah. And does it make you feel good when you look at this garden and you go in there and you pick some of those things and you know that you did it? Does that make you feel good? Yeah. You know, eating food that comes out of a garden just like this, or one that's in our backyard, or even a community garden that might be somewhere else in the community, or even food that you get from a farmer's market, it's really so much healthier. Do you know that when you don't eat food like this, do you know how far it has to travel to get to your house on your table? 1,200 miles. That's the average distance that food has to go. And you know what that means? It's not near as healthy. It loses its vitamins during that period of coming down the roads or being on the railroads. And you know what else that does? You see all those trucks up and down the highway? What does that do to the air we breathe? Makes it not so good. So when we can eat food from a garden like this, or another one that we might have in our own yard, or from some of our local farmers, we're saving the air we breathe. That's really important. And not only that, it also helps our farmers. I'm impressed that Hartstern has decided that they want to be a part of a healthy life. That you're using this in your studies every day. Whether it's in your math, or your science, or your communication, or your writing. We heard some of those benefits when we heard the song about the seed, and when we heard the poem from our first and second graders. You can use this garden for so many things. I like to call it an outdoor classroom. You can talk about how far it is to measure from one plant to the next. You can measure how big a plant is. And I saw some right up here in the front that are really pretty big. This is a positive approach, in my opinion, to education. I think we have to engage our young people in their learning process. I think we have to give them something different, another way to learn that makes it fun, makes them be able to be participants, and actually helps them learn the skills that we know they need day in and day out. But you know, Dr. Hargan said this a minute ago. Education is not about this building, this principal, or these teachers. It's about a community. If the community doesn't join hand in hand with the school and the education process, it will never be what it needs to be. So I'm delighted that there are so many partners in this garden because they're making a difference for these children. The JCPS School and Community Nutrition Services, the Nolenberger Foundation, the Louisville Original Chef Group, the USDA Farm to School, Lowe's, JCPenney, and the Norton Foundation, and our own Office of Ag Policy. If it were not for these, all of these partners, you would not have this, and these children would not have this kind of an opportunity. But most important, we wouldn't have this garden if it were not for the children. If they had not been the reason for all these partners to join together and for these children to have planted this. So let's all say thank you to our students for their commitment. Now, you know, in the summertime, our children are not here. So what happens to our gardens? No, not these. We had parents and we had community volunteers. Where are our parents and community volunteers that helped us with this? And I know some of the teachers did too. Yeah, you all stand up. If we hadn't had these folks, it wouldn't look like this today. It would be very, very different. So again, it takes a village. And that's what today is all about. So I can't wait to find out what this does for these students, what they're going to do next year with this garden, how much fun they're going to have for the rest of this year. So as a part of our efforts and in our help to make this garden grow, I brought a little something for you all. Now, I know we're going to unveil something in a little bit, but you know what? We want to add this to it. So, Principal Wright, along with this being the Hartstern Garden, we wanted to also say something else. We want everyone that sees this school, this sign, these students, this community to know how much we support what you're doing. So we want this to go on your sign. This is a Commonwealth Garden. So again today, thank all of you all, the students, the parents, the volunteers, the businesses, and all the others that have made this day a reality. This is something that is so wonderful for these students. We have planted a seed, and it will grow and produce and become our future in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Thank you.